good, my people? Welcome into Buckets, Action Network's daily NBA betting podcast. We're in the workshop Tuesday, NBA slate, NBA Cup slate. So you know who's with me. Jay Money is money. You know the man. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel, NBA Talk with Jay. He's on there daily, breaking down the slate. I am your host, Sean Little, recording this live from my Tommy John home studio. So is Jay Money. He's in his Tommy John home studio. Go pick up some of the stuff. It's legitimate. I own some. The drawers, the pants, the pajamas, the tops, everything is super comfy. Go check out our guys over at Tommy John. You know the deal. We get a play, we get a cap, we get you guys out here on the NBA Cup Tuesday. Jay Money is money. Give me your best bet for the NBA slate.
Let's take off with the Rockets, minus 2.5.
I'm going to go to Madison Square Garden. New York Knicks, -5 versus the Orlando Magic. I'll tell you why here in a second. Jay Money is money. Happy holidays. I hope Thanksgiving and all that I hope you had a nice little break. Took your eyes off the odds board for a second, but we're never that.
Never. Working 7 days a week, man. I'm talking about we eating dinner, and I'm over here trying to see how I can make some money. So luckily Thursday we didn't have any NBA games, but the lines were out for Friday. So I mean, it's always working, man. The grind never stops.
Never stops. I was actually in Baltimore the other night for Eagles-Ravens, and good game. Costly me. I was on the Ravens. But we'll talk about that another time. The grind never stops. Jay Money is money. The Houston Rockets are making a real statement here in the West. They're letting people know on a night-to-night basis that they should be considered to be one of the best teams in the NBA. They're pushing towards that top 2 seed in the West. Ime Udoka's second year, we saw exactly similarly to what he did with the Celtics, just give him a little time. He puts the imprint of how he wants things to run with that talented roster in Houston. He's doing just that. Talk to me here while you're landing 2.5 on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I like if the people that follow me on the Action Network app, I put this at I got this at +1, man. This line was even up earlier today as well at DK. Obviously, always you want to shop around as well. Obviously, you have like some books that'll be your favorite, stuff like that. But you always want to shop around and get the best line. But regardless of that, this line opened at Kings -1 was just, I'm sorry, I couldn't. I like Matt them say, I couldn't get there. I don't do like projections and stuff like that. I don't really care about all that stuff. But the Rockets being the dog to this Kings team right now, I didn't agree with it. The line looked fishy. I don't care. And I just want to say one thing, because I would used to like overthink things or be like try to be super sharp and stuff like that. Like, oh, okay, well, the line is telling me that the king spot. This year, the reason why I've been making money is because I've been going with what I'm seeing, going with what I know. And right now, I'm not looking towards backing the Kings anytime soon. I mean, these guys are losing very winnable games. They lost to the Spurs at the house, 6.5 point favorite. They lost to the Blazers, 7.5 point favorite on the road as well. This team has lost 7 of their last 10 games, and they're only 2-8 against the spread last 10 as well. So they are at the house. I know that they play a lot better, but something's going on over there in Sacramento. I do think that they were playing over their head last year, but things are starting to come back down to earth. Even though they got DeRozan, this team is not closing out games. It's pretty much Fox and everybody else. So they did get Malik Monk back. I'm sure that they're going to start playing better at some point now that they have all their guys back. But this Rockets team is literally one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. So you have a broken team that's not playing well, and then now they're supposed to get right versus one of the teams that's playing one of the most offensively and defensively balanced basketball. I don't see it happening. Now, I will say this, Sean, that initially I did think that the Rockets needed this game to solidify their spot in the Cup. That's not the case. They're really not playing for anything, but I just think that they want to just keep this good basketball that they're going. Like, I know the type of guy that Udoka is. He doesn't care. There's no letdown spots. We want to win every single game. We want to try to get a top 3, top 4 seed in the Western Conference. And I mean, like I say, 8-2 straight up last 10, 9-1 against the spread. Just cash with them versus the Thunder as well. I think they keep it going here, man. So I understand why this line is flipped, and I like the Rockets here, man. I'm taking off with the Rockets here.
Yeah, Kings at home against the spread, 2-8-1. Let me repeat that, 2-8-1 ATS for the Sacramento Kings, who over the last few years that's where they've been buttering their bread, is at home. They were waiting for you to show up, maybe even a bit tired, maybe in a tough scheduling spot, and they just destroyed you. Light the beam. I think that's where that light the beam, the I guess the jovial fun came from. Was they would get you in that building, they would grind you out, and they would get the dub and cover numbers, and that's not the case this year. So look, I'm a big Houston fan. They look great all year. I love Şengün. I love Thompson. A lot of people, I was actually doing a lot of reading on Thompson. They're saying he's the best perimeter defender in the NBA. And if you look at it and dissect it on a possession to possession and go watch some of his tape, he is unbelievable on ball. So, as I mentioned on the top, if you give Ime Udoka some time, he will get things sorted, especially defensively. And then when you got a guy like Şengün that could do it all, and then Van Vliet, who is that veteran leader that could close out stuff as well. And Dylan Brooks offensively has been his offensive game has taken the next step. He's been really, really good offensively for them. He's a perfect fit for the identity of that team. Shout out to Dylan Brooks. Shout out the Rockets. Let's see if they can continue to keep going and cover the number. One other thing. Listen closely to what I'm about to say. The reason J Money sees a +1 and is able to immediately trust his gut and his read and fire is because he's practicing correct bankroll management. When you are just firing and picking big numbers and just deciding what you're going to bet on a whim, that's when you get a little skittish and you have a harder time pulling the trigger. If you know what your unit size is and you know what you're going to play when you see a game, you don't have to really think about it because my bankroll allows for, if you're doing the 1% system, my bank here's 1% of my bankroll. I'm gonna fire it here on a number I don't like. Then you could be in a different spot where if you want to double dip down the road, you could add another percent. When you're trying to figure out what you're gonna bet and if it's too much or if it's too little, and maybe you're on a downswing and you're trying to chase, and then you figure out, wait, is this too much? And is this number right? It's too much stuff going on. Jay Money's got his bankroll laid out. He sees a number he thinks is wrong. Bang, it's in the Action Network app. My slip is printed, and I'm going to live with the result. That's the freeing nature you have when you're practicing correct bankroll management. You can see a number, you could fire. If you were wrong about the number and you lose, since you're practicing correct bankroll management, you just go to the next play. You just continue to do your process, and you're not so results oriented. I think that's the biggest thing, Jay. When you're practicing correct bankroll management, it gives you that freedom to not be so results oriented, and you could believe in your process. You get so results oriented when you're firing 10, 12% of your bankroll on one play.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I can't say I am still results oriented. I'm trying to win every single play, man. There were some games yesterday, team up 19, still end up losing by 15. Like, even though my bankroll is managed real nice and you know what I'm saying, all that, I'm still pissed about that game. It's 2 games last night that still pissed me off. So I just want to know, but everything that you're saying is right, and it definitely helps. Like when you're betting around the same amount, you still want to be results oriented. I'm just built a little different, and I know that these spots should have won.
You got to.
I'm just talking about me. Just like I'm still pissed. I'm trying to go. I think I had 6 plays yesterday. I was trying to go 6-0. Simple.
Yeah, no, I get that, but there's going to be days you're not going 6-0.
Yeah,
and it doesn't weigh on you as much when the process was correct. You're able to fire on that number that you saw, and then it's just on to the next day. So yeah, of course we're always results oriented. We're trying to cash as many tickets as humanly possible.
Fact.
All right, let's go to Madison Square Garden Tuesday. Knickerbockers are hosting the Orlando Magic. If you have been listening to Jay and I and myself on Buckets in the offseason, I am a big Orlando Magic fan. I love the dog that they have, the roster construction. Banchero going down was tough, but they've bounced back and put together a couple W's. Let's talk about the situation here with the Knicks and this game for NBA Group Cup A on the East side. Both the Knicks and the Magic are 3-0. So, in short, the winner of this game wins Group A. Now, Orlando's in a little bit of a different spot. If Orlando loses, they're still very likely to get that East wild card slot. They have the league high plus 60-point differential through the 3 NBA Cup games. So as long as they don't lose by more than like 40, they're going to be
Yeah.
moving on to the next round if they win this game to win the group or not. So if they win the group. If they lose and don't lose by a massive number, they'll still in a really good spot to advance to that quarterfinal round, but just as the wild card. Now, it's not the same thing for the New York Knicks. Entering the group stage here, they're at a league worst plus 15 on the point differential in the East. So Bucks are plus 29, Pistons plus 28, the Celtics are plus 23. So if the Knicks lose, they're in a really bad spot and most likely will not advance to that quarterfinal knockout stage. So win this game and they get in. That's going to be the attitude and the thought process for the Knicks here at home against a really good Orlando Magic team. Now, Magic, 12-1 in their last 13. Yes. It's actually funny, Jay Money, because a couple of weeks ago we were on, and I was trying to tell you and the people, and you agreed with me, that this Los Angeles Lakers win streak is fugazi. They haven't been playing anybody. This team that they're playing in Orlando Magic is going to be a step up in competition, especially defensively. Yeah. I don't care if it's if the game is in LA, where it's at. The Lakers are going to have a hard time covering the. They were giving up points in that game. I was back in the Magic all day. That ends up cashing. It's a little similar spot here for the Orlando Magic, but they are underdogs. 12-1 in their last 13, but only one win versus a team in the top 15 in net rating this year. And it was the opening game of the year versus the Miami Heat, and that's when they had Paolo Banchero. So to repeat that, they have one win versus a team in the top 15 in net rating this year. Now, the Magic in total, that was for the last 13 games for that 12-1 win streak. Now, the Magic have 15 wins on the season. Only 4 of them have come against teams with top 10 offenses. And we know the New York Knicks have the best offense in the NBA at the moment. 3 of those are against the Brooklyn Nets, who are 10th in offensive rating, right at the bottom of that top 10 offensive rating bar that I set. But we also know those guys can't stop a nosebleed on defense. So the urgency, they could, go ahead. Y'all could, we're going to be able to score. So we'll let y'all score a little bit. That the Orlando Magic aren't turning that defensive notch up as high as they could. They weren't worried about the Brooklyn Nets overall is what I'm getting at. The other game that they played a team with the top 10 offense in the NBA was the Lakers, and they needed a Franz Wagner buzzer beater to get that W, even though they were underdogs in that spot. Now, per dunks and threes, their opponent offensive strength of schedule is 26th in the NBA this year. So as high as I am on Orlando and their defensive prowess, they haven't been playing the top teams in the NBA when it comes to offense at all. They've been playing some poor offenses, and yes, they've been beating them up. This is flat out just a massive step up in class when we're talking about the New York Knicks playing offense at Madison Square Garden in an NBA Cup game where you win the group, and you advance to that quarterfinal. It's going to be rocking in that building. I'm going to be there. I expect the crowd to be extremely locked in, just like they have been for these NBA Cup games. Now, the Knicks, for me, right now are the best offense in the NBA, and I think a lot of that, they still haven't figured out how they want to play ball, really. There's still a lot of question marks possession to possession offensively, how they want to play and how they want to mesh and how they want to go about their business, and they're still the best offense in the NBA. 4 wins, they put up 128 or more. The offensive rating is 121. That's best in the NBA. Now, I love Orlando, the roster they constructed. I love Goga Bitadze. That's like my favorite player in the NBA damn near right now. I love what he does and how he impacts and anchors the middle for Orlando. But this is just a bad matchup, and I think they're going to have a really hard time keeping up offensively with the New York Knicks. A couple more numbers, and then I'll let you comment, J Money. Orlando's 18th in turnover percentage. They're susceptible to turnovers. They will turn the ball over, and that's a big positive for me. If you're going to turn the ball over and give extra possessions to the Knicks at home. Also a team that doesn't turn the ball over at all for the most part. They're like top 5, top 6 in the NBA in turnover percentage are the Knicks, and it only goes up at home. Orlando, 16th in three-point percentage allowed. The key here is they don't allow that many looks from three. Only third in the NBA in looks allowed. So that's their top three in threes given up. But when they do give them up, they have a hard time defending them. 16th in three-point percentage allowed. So I don't know if there's anything they could do off defensively that's going to be able to slow up the Knicks at home on purely getting up attempts. Not many teams have slowed up the Knicks from getting up three-point attempts when they've wanted to. I don't think the Orlando Magic will be able to do that tomorrow night at the Garden. So, lastly, I trust Tom Thibodeau to put a plan together with OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Bridges to slow down Franz Wagner offensively somewhat. If they could turn that faucet off even a little bit, offensively, the Orlando Magic aren't going to be able to keep up. Tom Thibodeau knows that. OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, the gang know that. I think they focus on slowing him, making other folks beat them offensively, and I don't trust those guys offensively on the Orlando Magic. I'll lay the 5 with the Knicks at the Garden.
Yeah, no, you make a lot of great points as well, man. I don't really have a great feel for this game. I'm not, me personally, I just don't feel comfortable going against the Magic. You definitely made some great points. You look at who they played, literally nobody since the Lakers, all bottom tier teams in the East. Well, even though the Nets hadn't been playing like it, the Pistons haven't been playing like it, but they're still teams that'll likely be even just trying to get to the play-in tournament. So, but I also will say that that's all they can do is play who's in front of them. You know what I mean? And so another peel back another layer to that as well. If they weren't covering spreads, there'd be another thing. Like they barely winning. Like they're covering as well. They're 9-1 straight up and in against the spread last 10. So the Knicks, it's like a 6 or 7 teams in the NBA, maybe 8. I just don't know what I'm gonna get from them every night. Like I just don't know what I'm gonna get. Yeah. You don't know if you're gonna get the Knicks team that got smoked by the Mavs. I was on the Knicks. There's no way they should get smoked like that. But like you have other games that are up 20 in the first quarter. So I think that the Knicks have a very high potential. I came into this year having a lot of high hopes for the Knicks. I think they can go really far, but I don't really like the inconsistency in my opinion. So that's one of those things that why I got on the Rockets. They've been really consistent. One thing about the Magic's defense, they're going to be really consistent. So if I was to play this game, I'd probably go with the under. You make some great points. You shut down Franz Wagner. That's it. That's the game right there. You don't really have any other microwave scores like that without bankroll. And also, I do expect the Magic to bring their defense as well. Like this is a no-nonsense team. Really great coaching job by Jamal Mosley over there. I love the way he coaches, has these young guys playing hard every single possession. So I do think this will be a defensive game. That's why you see the total so low. This is like a 194 and a half, like, you know what I'm saying? Like 10 years ago. So that's what you can compare like a 214 to today's NBA. I think that the Magic will be able to muck this game up and like guard Brunson, Cat, all those guys. And then, like you said, OG Anunoby, between OG and Bridges, they should be able to at least hold Franz like probably under 20 points or something like that. I'd probably look at under his points probably. It would have to take somebody going crazy, Suggs, KCP, somebody down low, try to exploit that weakness for the Knicks with Cat. Try to go to, because I think I got Wendell Carter Jr. back, but Taze, Jonathan Isaac, somebody, the bigs are going to have to do well for the Magic here. But you make a lot of great points. And also another great point as well, that the Knicks, if they want to be in the cup, you have to win this game. It's that simple. You know what I mean? So Magic have really shown that they wanted to get in that cup, but like you said, there's a pathway for them to get in, even if they lose, as long as they don't lose by more than 36 points. So I couldn't talk you off Knicks. I don't really have there was other games that I liked more, in my opinion, but would definitely lean to the under 214 and a half here.
We mentioned off the top of the show that we're coming to you live from our Tommy John home studios. It's the holiday season. It's that time of the year where you might be stressing about what to get your dad or maybe a sibling who's tough to shop for. Whoever it might be on your list, why not give them the gift of comfort with Tommy John? Your loved ones deserve the perfect gift, the perfect fit, and the perfect comfort. If you want to be the GOAT, the greatest gifter of all time, head to TommyJohn.com/buckets for 40% off. It was 30 last week, people. Now it's 40% off as part of their Cyber Monday sale. These are the lowest prices, best deals of the year, bar none. Save 40% site-wide for a limited time at TommyJohn.com/buckets. Yeah, J Money, the Knicks have been inconsistent. They've only had 2 or more straight wins once this year. They
Dang,
win
that's-
one, they lose one. They win two, they lose one. You could say after that Nuggets performance, you were hoping it was, they turned a corner and they went right back into their same pattern of up and down.
Inconsistent, bro.
Yeah, inconsistent, no question. The one thing I will say is they are coming off a down game a couple games ago against the Hornets. They won by a point day after Thanksgiving, 99-98, I believe.
With
Or it was
no
like
LaMelo.
98-97 with no LaMelo. It's supposed to be a
We're
runaway.
down most of that game.
We're
They were
down most of the
three
game.
and a half quarters.
No doubt. So they have been inconsistent, but they get home, they smack New Orleans on
You
Sunday.
don't give them credit for that.
We
Sean.
don't give them credit for that.
You don't get credit for smacking the Pelicans. It doesn't happen, man.
You're right.
No, the Knicks are the spot. But I'm not giving them credit for smoking the Pelicans. I'm not even a little.
No doubt. What I'm getting at is they had a down game, but still got the win. Then they put together another win right back at home, fresh off the road trip. We talk about that spot all the time. Now it's an NBA Cup game. They're home, settled, and they know they're going to have to bring their A ball offensively because they know about the dogs on Orlando. Orlando gave those boys a lot of trouble last year.
Yeah,
that was
probably the first three games.
Yes, that was probably the toughest team they played in the East last year, outside of maybe Boston, was the Orlando Magic. So they know about these boys. They'll be ready to go. If they could play even 90% of their I just don't think Orlando's going to be able to keep up. I'll lay the 5 with the New York Knicks. For J Money is Money, I am your host, Sean Little. Go subscribe to the Action Network YouTube page. Go download the Action Network app. Still tons of content coming out of the house on a day-to-day basis. We're getting closer to the NBA Cup knockout. We're getting down the road on this NFL season. Playoffs closer than they appear. For J Money is Money, I am your host, Sean Little. Until next time, this crew, the Buckets Pod's back tomorrow. Sean Little and J Money will be back on Thursday. Get buckets, baby.